Welcome, my fellow Doombots, and today I'm talking about the new Timothée Chalamet movie, A Complete Unknown, where he plays Bob Dylan, a singer-songwriter who had a career most prominently in the early 60s until like the 80s, but he's still making music until today. And let me tell you, I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was quite fun. Timothée Chalamet is, of course, great in this film, like always. He portrays Bob Dylan as kind of an eccentric individualist, and sometimes he thinks that his art is more important than the people around him. So yeah, he's kind of a douchebag at times, but he's fun to watch. I think that the supporting cast is great. There are two main relationships that Bob Dylan has in the movie. The first one is with his girlfriend Ellie Fanning, who plays Sylvie Russo. And then you also had Monica Barbero, who played Joan Baez. Joan Baez, a woman who also made music around the same time with Bob Dylan together. I love the aesthetic of America in the 70s and 60s. And it's just a very pleasing movie to watch, both aesthetically and also with the music, because I thought that the music was quite good. The interactions between Bob Dylan and Joan Baez were a lot of fun. Also, when she was like always angry at him on stage, telling him to fuck off, on purpose playing songs that he didn't want to play, because Bob Dylan in this movie only wanted to play like new songs and he didn't really want to play like his older material because he wanted to keep on evolving. Also, Edward Norton was great in this movie. He played Pete Seeger. So Edward Norton is kind of like the mentor of Bob Dylan, who brings him into the world, who gives him the stage to perform so that he can become who he is. But later in the movie, there's also some tension, which eventually leads to some conflict between the two. The movie ends kind of like in a Disney XD fashion, where Bob Dylan is playing his new radical music, and there's this crazy scene where Pete Seeger tries to stop the show by taking an axe and cutting the power to the stage. That was kind of a corny moment, but for the rest, I really liked Edward Norton in this movie. I think he's a great actor. I loved him in American History X, and of course in Incredible Hulk and Fight Club. So I really like seeing Edward Norton in a bigger mainstream Hollywood movie. Also like Boyd Holbrook as Johnny Cash in this film. It's kind of a Johnny Cash that's at the end of his rope. He's constantly drunk, but I did like the interaction between him and Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan. So I did enjoy that. This movie is directed by James Mangold. He also did Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash movie. Also, the movie I know him for the most is Logan, one of the best Wolverine superhero movies that has ever been. Like, Logan is a classic of the genre. This movie got a bunch of nominations at the Academy, and I watched it. I enjoyed it. For me, they're all well deserved, but I don't really know what an Academy Award nomination means in this year, with that horrible movie getting like 13 nominations. I don't even want to get into that. I would say this movie is worth watching in the cinema if you enjoy Timothée Chalamet and like folk music. If you don't like Timothée Chalamet and you don't like folk music or America in the 70s, you can probably skip this one. Doombot out and have yourself a happy Doomsday.